This is The Healthy Healer, where true voice is your medicine. This is where we help doctors and other healers navigate through the challenging times by learning from the best minds in the healing industry. Laugh, cry, and be surprised. It's entertainment, education, and inspiration so you can continue to be the unique and amazing healer you were destined to be. Welcome to humanity. Welcome to The Healthy Healer with Dr. Fred.
Hello, everybody. It's Dr. Fred, and today I'm going to talk a little bit about the genesis of anxiety and the treatments that we tend to offer from a conventional standpoint. And on the heels of the conversation that we had with Daniel Packard earlier, we're going to learn that maybe we're looking in the wrong places, and that might be the main reason why we haven't taken a big bite out of this really overwhelming condition that is frankly at epidemic or even pandemic levels around the world, that of anxiety or fear or discomfort or nervousness that can happen to each and every one of us. We tend to look for our cure, and we tend to look for the essence, like where does anxiety emanate from when we think of mental health or we think of exploring the mind. Daniel early on really made a good point that do you think it's in the respiratory system? Do you think it's in the cardiovascular system? Or do you think it's in the nervous system? It's very clear that the word nervous is actually incorporated into that system. That is the right answer to that question. And Daniel has done all the research that he has needed to do over the last 8 years to come up with a bona fide results-based system that is reliably effective. And with that results-based system that's reliably effective, it's so effective that you don't even get charged until you get the results. If you don't get the results, you don't have to pay. And the results are measured by nearly all, if not all, of your anxiety being removed, not only for now, but permanently. So the system that he's designed is repairing the nervous system, actually going in and repairing the nervous system with a set of sequential exercises that one has to go through over a 4, 6, or 8-week process. And in that process, eliminating, curing, solving anxiety for the rest of one's life. Does that sound too good to be true? It does in some ways for those of us who think that anxiety is a condition that has built up over years and therefore probably needs to take years in order to disappear. But Daniel's contention is that it absolutely disappears with this new approach, a transformational approach, not one that is more, not one that is based on learning or tips or tricks, but one that is based on exercising certain aspects of a broken or worn down nervous system that over time has become fragile and has been releasing pain. So Daniel has really shown that broken systems around our body become fragile and then release pain. He really liked to use the analogy of the dental system, for instance. If we stop brushing and stop flossing, eventually our teeth are going to break down and our mouth will turn into an area that's very fragile and will release pain. And things like ice cream or ice cubes or carrots will cause pain in that situation, will cause the experience of pain. But pain is not a dysfunction in that level. Pain is actually a gift, and it's an indicator that something needs attention. Daniel equates this to our nervous system and anxiety, that anxiety is not a disorder. It's actually an indicator that there's something that needs attention in order to repair it. And the good news is that once it's repaired, Daniel has also developed a way to maintain it afterwards so that you don't have to face the crippling condition, the overwhelming condition, the paralyzing condition of anxiety that has taken so many people in the last several years to a point of being essentially imbalanced and dysfunctional. So it's not in the mind, and we're looking at a location where the problem doesn't exist. And this is probably true not only for anxiety, but for much of mental health, where it's not necessarily in the mind. And although talk therapy and maybe even medications have some utility in decreasing the symptoms on the short term, Daniel's contention is that isn't where it truly emanates from, and that if you're going to repair a garden, for instance, and it's going to take some time to get the grass to grow greener, and then once the grass grows, to get the flowers to bloom, and then to get the bees to return, it might take a little bit of time. But generally, in order to get the grass greener, you can take care of the things that are blocking or impeding the normal growth of the garden. And that's what he does with the nervous system. By getting rid of that, then you can get the outstanding outcomes that are extended over time that are equated to the bees returning to the garden. Depression is a secondary cause on the back end of anxiety, by Daniel's perspective. And depression lifts as a result of the exercises he's created for anxiety as well. I find this to be really compelling. The idea is that we have to look at altering or transforming the narrative of mental health based conditions such as anxiety or depression, breaking down the old way of looking at it, because the old way doesn't really work to alleviate symptoms. As the ESPN analyst Dan Patrick used to say, yeah, we look at these conditions. It's not, we can't stop them. We can only hope to contain them. It tends to be the philosophy. But in Daniel's perspective, and in my perspective as well, these things most definitely can be healed and solved and eliminated. And the way that we do that is by transforming the narrative fundamentally from a foundational level. And that's what Daniel has succeeded in doing. So I am totally inspired by his work, and really found it to be astonishing and incredible that he has created a program that has finite boundaries, normal, doable instructions, and outcomes that are results that are quality based, and that you don't even have to pay for the services unless you get the results, which is a pretty confident guarantee. I would love to be able to do that inside of my psychiatric practice as well, offer that kind of guarantee. Don't pay until you get the services. And I've talked about that. I think my coaching program does allow for thinking like that. And I invite all mental health professionals to relook at what they do, and how would it be if no one paid you until you got the results? Are you actually performing at a level that is creating results that has you so confident that you could offer such a guarantee? With that said, and that question posed, please just take that on, and don't give yourself too much heat if you're not comfortable with the process of taking money on the back end. But it's a good question to ask yourself. Are you simply containing, or is there an opportunity to truly heal and solve the issues that you're taking on for your clients? Thank you very much for being here for this short associated with the Daniel Packard podcast. And thank you for being a listener of The Healthy Healer. It's a pleasure to be with you. I look forward to future contacts and future podcasts. And I really appreciate the opportunity to share these amazing guests with you. Be well. We'll catch you on the flip side. Bye for now. It's Dr. Fred.